Hi, I'm Sage Lewis. I'm the president of SageRock.com. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your overall web marketing strategy. And when I'm talking about web marketing strategy, the first thing that comes to mind is the second habit of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People from Stephen Covey. The second habit is start with the end in mind. So if you understand exactly what it is you want your visitor to do on your website, it's going to significantly help you craft your website, design your website, lay out your website. Every element that you add or remove to your website is going to be put up against this factor. Is it helping this end goal or is it hurting this end goal? And really, I don't see a lot of people doing this. This is obviously common sense, but it doesn't happen all that often. So, start with the end in mind. Now, if you're an e-commerce site, you might say, well, the end in mind is I want somebody to buy something. And that is very well and good, and obviously that should be your ultimate goal. However, it is very rare that people will buy on their first experience to a website. Typically, it takes multiple times to a website before a person actually purchases, and that's simply because the web has changed the entire shopping experience. Instead of walking into your store and being held captive there, basically, to purchase, a person can come to your website and then can go to all of your competitors' websites and compare your service capabilities, your price, shipping. The buyer obviously is in more control than they've ever been. So, you might not necessarily want your end goal for the first time visitor to be to buy something. Maybe it's to get some information, to get a free video, to sign up for a drawing, to, play a game. The more creative, the better. Something that gets them engaged in your overall marketing strategy so that you can then push back some more marketing to them to try to compel them to come back to your website and feel more comfortable with you to ultimately purchase. Now, there might be some very small ticket items, $30 and under. I'm thinking that the most wanted response is to buy on the first time visit. It can be done, but it's going to be hard. You have to have really compelling copy, great testimonials, great price, great shopping experience. It has to be seamlessly perfect almost. But it certainly can be done, and I've seen it done. But the more expensive the item, the longer the buying cycle, and the less likely you should assume that the first-time buyer is going to buy from you. And you should also not assume that they're going to bookmark you and remember you. They are going to, you have to take it on yourself to try to get them into your overall marketing system. So that's on the e-commerce side. If you're a service business, chances are your most wanted response is just to get some information from them, to get an email address, to get a phone number, that type of thing. When you have an online form, always keep in mind that the smaller the better. Do you really need to know the name of the company, their title, their position, the size of their company? You don't need that stuff on the first time visit. You just need a way to reach out to them. It's been my experience that if you can get a phone number, you're in a better position than just getting an email, because I typically find that somebody gives an email on a whim, and they don't always return an email response that readily. So if you can ask for a phone number, that's really ideal, because then you've got them and you can see. At that point, you can call them and you can hear if they're interested, if they're just kicking the tires or whatnot. But I like short forms. I like a name, a phone number, a comment field, maybe an email address form or field, and that's it. You can get all the other information in future visits. But even that isn't going to come free. You're going to have to do something that compels a person to want to give you that information so that you can reach out to them. And that gets harder and harder every day. This could be free information, a free consultation, something that is valuable to the visitor. But it is worth trying this and really honing this, because you paid for that visitor one way or another. If you were doing pay-per-click, you paid an actual dollar amount to get that single user to your website. If you're using search engine optimization, your optimizer cost you something, and you can equate that out to what every visitor cost you by the optimization fees that you are incurring. Or if you just wrote an article, send out a press release, there was time in that. There's a value to every single customer or client that comes to your website. And so you should think of that you paid for them in one sort of way or another, and you should do everything you possibly can to get them into your larger marketing cycle. So that's some steps on how to think about that. People often ask me, well, what percentage of people should I anticipate doing my most wanted response? I typically say that the industry average is about 2%. So if 2% of the people that come to your website do your most wanted response, I think you're doing well. That's certainly not to say that you can't do higher. I've seen up to 10%, but that is a well-crafted, well-honed website that has been massaged over years of time, that has been really, really tweaked to optimal performance. I would not anticipate coming out of the gate at even 2%. If you're starting a brand new website, 0.5% is realistic of doing your most wanted response. But 2 is a good goal to get to. If you're above 2, you're doing great. Keep working on it. If you're below 2, you're probably missing something. Your message isn't right. You're targeting the wrong audience or something along those lines. So there you go. I hope that helps a little bit with your overall web marketing strategy. If you'd like to talk more about this, you can call me at any time. My phone number is 330-379-9000. You can email me directly at sage@sagerock.com. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful, and have a great day.